Hello, friends. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm very excited to introduce you to Crystal Weber of Clear ESL because she has so much to offer you. She has wonderful curriculum and a variety of options. She has fantastic resources. And if you're still working on teaching your Chinese little kiddos, guess what? She even has a payment portal for your Chinese students. So, with so much to offer, let's get started. All right, so today I'm so excited to introduce Crystal Clear ESL, and most of you know her as Crystal or Crystal Clear, and I have found out today that she is Crystal Weber. Did I get it right?
Perfectly said. Yes, thank you.
And I'm so happy to have you here today, Crystal. I've heard wonderful things about your curriculum. I think it's a really popular one. I'm super excited, not only about that, but your website is chock full of fun stuff. Let's just begin, my friend, by telling us some things about you and your background.
Yeah. Well, thank you for having me first, Allison. It's a joy to be here. My background. Well, I was in a completely different place 2 years ago, sort of pre-pandemic. I had trained and worked as a public school English teacher for years and quit that to have a family and was leading a bit of a charmed life as a stay-at-home mom. I was teaching VIPKID like 8 hours a week for just as a hobby, really, and to stay current. And then the pandemic hit and everything was turned upside down. My husband was very abruptly let go. This was April of the pandemic, so first month in, really. And, the hobby then became like so much pressure to pay the mortgage. And so I amped up my schedule and, got loads of kids coming in and was very lucky with that and was working 6 days a week, like 12 back-to-back shifts at lessons at a time. And quickly was beginning to burn out. And I also thought I should be prioritizing bringing on board freelance students because the pay is so much more. But at the same time, I thought, the only variable I can change to make more money in teaching by myself is adding more hours. And even if I work all the hours in a day, it doesn't make up for what my husband was making. So I started to think outside the box and wonder how I could draw together all of my skills and experience and qualifications. So I set to work, basically. If you roll on forward about half a year or 3/4 of a year, that's when the China sort of bubble burst. And it became an opportunity really to pay it forward because I had used Crystal Clear ESL to sort of bridge the gap in our personal finances and make ourselves more solvent in my family. And here were all these teachers kicked out of the big organizations also needing to do the same. So by pay it forward, I mean, if I can enable one teacher or 10 or 100 teachers to find financial freedom on their own terms by offering a piece to their puzzle that maybe they didn't have the confidence to develop, or maybe they didn't want to, or maybe they realized that it was more cost efficient not to, then that's just so gratifying to be able to have that be this succession of events here.
Your goal, like you said, is like 700 courses, or lessons, but you've got 300 and some already finished.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. I'm really proud of how far I've come and that I'm grateful that I've had the hours to devote to it. It's all about gratitude and being grateful and acknowledging that I did have a head start and that set me up really well to have a massive base of resources, because I'm also aware from a teaching side how scary it can be to sign on with a platform that is working to demands, let's say, and you wonder, am I going to have a lesson to teach next week? Or because it's not only about then you need to invest your own time, but it's also altering the brand and the promise to the parent. Like if you've got a parent on board by selling a particular curriculum or maintaining a particular standard, you don't want to have to shift to something else for a week.
No, that's a really valid point. And I hadn't given that a lot of thought, but to know that you have got that many in the bag already is very helpful to the teacher. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about your curriculum then. give us, any information. And I know you show us some, and I'm super excited about that too.
Okay. This is what a lesson will look like from the teacher's perspective. And when I press the full screen button, this is what you'll screen share over to your students. So it looks very professional and clean and like some time went into it. I'll just click through. These are obviously learning objectives. I won't show every slide, but the lessons are designed to integrate all 4 language acquisition skills. So you'll see activities for speaking like this one. I build in vocabulary to go with every theme as well. So verbs and just, nouns, things. And then if you use the button in the bottom right, you can actually navigate slides. Let's show you some activities. So this is the fun activity where students can drag and drop to fill in the blanks. And then you've got a teacher key with the answers down here on the bottom right. So again, that work is done for you. I try to change up the activities regularly so it doesn't get too sort of monotonous. But here's an example of a crossword where the student can use the type text feature on their virtual classroom platform to complete the crossword. Every lesson is a minimum of 25 slides. And I have had teachers tell me that they have split them because it's so much content that it's actually enough for 2 lessons, which is, I think, great news. And you can go back and pick and choose what you want to cover again or reinforce something maybe that the student was a little wobbly with. Lessons all include readers, which are leveled as well. And I do different activities for each one. So what I always tell my teachers is don't feel like you have to have the student read the full reader every class, because it will be the same reader over numerous classes. There are so many reading activities you can do to draw out further understanding, to create a speaking activity like a role play where you sort of predict or imagine enroll as characters, or you use that empathy, or you could look into Bloom's taxonomy of higher order questioning. After the reader, there's generally some sort of grammar. So here the teacher will assist the student in identifying what the rules are for creating simple past tense, which is quite fun. And then they can either make a sentence themselves using these past participles, or there are ones hidden within the slides. So that's quite fun as well. Just more reinforcement. This is a drag and drop where they decide irregular versus regular verbs, and they can drag them over and sort them.
Yes, I love that you've got the interactives in there. I love that you have like the readers, like you said, the opportunity for practice and practice again, that spiraling effect of learning, as we learn it here, and then we learn it here, and then we learn it here kind of thing. I like all of these different pieces. And you have sound too.
Yeah, there's built-in audio, which is great for listening tasks and for phonics. Phonics is reinforced right through level 5. So it starts, the curriculum basically works. Level 1 is a distinct phonics course made for real beginners and also young kids. I recommend starting from as young as 2 years old with that, because it's learning through play. It's all gamified. It's interactive. It includes your flashcards and your games and your songs, your mnemonics, that sort of thing. And it's standalone. So a teacher essentially could specialize in a niche of just teaching preschoolers with that phonics course. It has 72 lessons in it. But that said, level 2 is a starting point as well. So it will go through phonics in combination with the other language acquisition skills. And it is a little bit more quick paced. So it does move a bit quicker because it's aimed at kids that already know how to learn, more school age.
Right.
So the main curriculum is what I call a general curriculum, but I do break it into bundles. So you only have to pay for or subscribe to the levels that apply to your niche of students. But basically it will go from level 1 to level 7. And right now it goes to level 5. So those higher levels are coming. And I've tried to sort of replicate or align loosely to what I knew from VIPKID. I also took on 2 other companies over the pandemic. So I've drawn out the bits that I loved from these companies and just left behind anything that I didn't love. Mm-hmm. And then I've also factored in my professional qualification, because there you learn a lot about pedagogy and delivery and what's really important in terms of how to ingest information, input, output, all that. So it does align loosely with the VIPKID level. So when you see level 2 on mine, it will probably be roughly equivalent and therefore suitable for a former level 2 VIPKID student. And I've also had a look at the Cambridge syllabus, their YLE series, and matched it up to that. So for example, my level 4 is roughly equivalent to Cambridge Flyers, which means that it could supplement preparation for that YLE exam for Flyers. And then I also looked at the equivalence to what's known as the CEFR, which is the Common European Framework of Reference for Languages. And that sort of, I know a lot of people from North America have never heard of it, but it is the industry standard across Europe. And it's not just for English. It is a rubric that can be applied to pretty much any language because it's skill-based. And it's a great sort of starting point or baseline for a curriculum that's well understood over here and rather easy to link to others. I do actually offer a diagnostic tool. So no matter where your student has come from, you can use this to set them within the crystal clear curriculum.
Wow.
And it's fun and it's saleable. So for example, you've got a new student who's got you for a trial lesson and they are on the fence whether you're going to keep them. This is great because it really shows you off as a professional dynamic teacher. And this is a cumulative. Basically, it starts, the first few slides would be level 1, 2, and then the next few slides are 2, 3. And if you get several concurrent slides that your student is struggling with, you know that you've hit their threshold of proficiency, and then you use the rubric below to sort of link to the curriculum. So you just scroll down and you can see from the rubric here, it tells you exactly where you should be starting your student off. Super easy. And then there's also built-in games in that diagnostic lesson so that if you do hit their proficiency quite early on, you're not kind of left in the lurch with nothing to do. You can tailor some games to their ability and make it fun at the same time and fill that time.
That is wonderful. I love that you've got something so that we can figure out where our students are, because we want to bring in the brand new ones, and to have something related to what you're doing, just from point A, you go to point B, and it's just that easy, is fantastic. And then did I see that some of these assessments were free so teachers could take a look at these?
Right. You did see that. Yeah. So the diagnostic is free. You can use it and it's scored just basically a point per slide or a point per activity. But
now, do you have anything as far as feedback is concerned? Because that, I'm sure, is another piece that people are interested in.
Yeah. So the curriculum builds assessment in. Each of the units, which are thematic, have a review lesson for lesson 7 and an assessment lesson for lesson 8. They are similar. So I tell teachers, it's up to you to gauge your student. If you don't think they need to review, then just skip that lesson and move on to the assessment. So the assessment is such a great opportunity to provide that really detailed, in-depth feedback. You are provided with a chart, a summary of how they scored across each of the assessment criteria, a percentage. It comes up with a nice little percentage graphic. And I love to screenshot and save that. And then I'll send it off to my students with my actual write-up. And it just makes it so easy to hone in on specifics. Besides that, if you look at the resources page on the site, this functions like a blog. So there's tons of articles that are specific to our industry. There are teaching tips for using this platform and for teaching the lessons themselves. I'm going to search the key term feedback. And I have provided in here a free feedback form that you can use yourself, or I'm happy for teachers to adapt. Basically, all it is a Google form. I've repurposed some of the questions that I loved from other teaching platforms. It gets, if you're handy with the tab key, especially, it's super fast to just click through and fill out. And if you put your email address here, it auto sends to you, and then you can just forward it on to your student, which is exactly what I do. So you can see how easy that is to use. Parents love these.
Well, and like you were saying, it's so easy. You're getting to choose some of the answers as opposed to just writing everything out. Look how simple this is. This is really,
it just speeds it up so much. And also it gives you an excellent base for comparison between, this particular student now and 2 months ago, or this student at this level and this other student at the same level. Like, it's a real guide to your teaching as well.
It's very quantifiable here.
So I want to make it easy. A lot of what's come together on this site is things that I've used and repurposed because I'm a teacher too. Everything that I do on this website comes by a teacher for teachers.
Right. You use your experience to become better at what you do. And when so many of us loved what we did before, it's nice to see some of the things that are familiar that work well with our students.
But in the free lessons tab here are loads of free material. You've got free trial classes, which I started out with. They are indicative of what to expect per each level. So I should say right now, levels 2 through 4 were created in early days of Crystal Clear ESL before I had access to this great interactive platform. So they're static lessons that draw their interactivity from the virtual classroom platform that you choose. But that said, it's a current project to upgrade those. And then there are also free backup classes. So these are dual purpose. They're 1, to share with everyone freely, and 2, so Crystal Clear ESL teachers can actually download static versions of these to keep on file, because I'm aware that the internet is what it is. It has glitches, whether our end or teachers' ends or students' ends. What the point is of the download is to have them in the bag so that if any disruptions ever do occur, they can sort of draw back and still have something to teach.
Great.
Yeah, and these are all the interactive as well. We're creating Easter as I speak. I hope to just keep building that up.
These are really fantastic. And there's so many variations of your free lessons too. It's not just, try the business English and try the phonics. They're like having all the Christmas and Thanksgiving and Halloween. Those are great for anybody, because seasonally teachers love to teach those things. And teaching culture is a really big part of what we do as well. And one thing I wondered, because I saw as you're scrolling down the way that you have Halloween spelled with the apostrophe in there. And in the US, we don't do that. But it made me wonder, is that, are the majority of your lessons, like, are they American English? Because I know you're Canadian, but you live in the UK. So I just was curious about what kind of English dialect that we're using in your lesson.
Yeah, good question. So at the moment, everything is in British English. And that came about for really 2 reasons. 1, I'm here in England, the most simple reason. 2, your Chinese students in particular will be exposed to British English in school. It's the vastly predominant style that they use. And so it feels, familiar to them. And I do have every intention of replicating all the courseware into American English as well. My priority has been getting material out as quickly as possible along that base curriculum. So that's a general curriculum. And on top of that, I also offer a 50 lesson course in business English. That's really great. And it's a secret right now, but it's being upgraded. So it's going to be fully interactive and super dynamic as well. So
my gosh,
look for announcements. Yeah. I'm really excited about it. I think there's not anything else like it in the market, because this one is a progression, like the topics lead from one lesson to the next. The homeworks sort of follow the same vein. It's all built in. So it just, again, it makes your teaching experience so much easier.
Well, teachers who've discovered that they want to teach adults. Here we were teaching kids all the time, and some of these now have had opportunities through things like Cambly to teach adults, and to find something like this where you can actually make some money doing this yourself. I just think that's such a great thing. Yeah.
I do too. Yeah. And I'll also be adding, I'm just finalizing the details now, a speaking course right away within the next week, hopefully. So it's a designated speaking course with discussion topics provided by curated, again, external links. So there'll be like a homework task that is watch a YouTube video, watch a TED Talk, read this article, and make notes. And then you come back to the class the next time, and everything, all the questions, the discussion leads are provided. And also we've just added in like tips, like cheater tips for the teacher. So it's not enough that we give you the questions to ask, but we also give you like what the student should be answering so that you yourself don't have to do all the research.
That's great, because having to do the lesson beforehand is a lot. Like you said with VIPKID, you just want to get in there and be able to do it. Yeah.
That's the beauty of this job. But on the flip side of the coin, what a lot of teachers are now recognizing, it's not just the ease, it's the business-centered approach, because we're not just teachers anymore. We're business people, and we have to make choices to positively impact our business. And financially, it doesn't make sense to put 100% or even 50% extra time into every lesson in the prep, because that's decreasing your wage. So if you can pay, let's say, $10 per month across all your students, this isn't a per student deal. It makes financial sense to invest that and decrease your time investment otherwise, which could be devoted then to recruiting new students or teaching new students or having a hobby or spending time with your family.
Science teaching. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
No, I think that's one of the things that's probably hardest for teachers who are doing this, is realizing there's all of these pieces involved in it that were taken care of by the companies beforehand. And we want to do it because it's a great opportunity, but to realize, oh my gosh, I have to do this and this and this and this. And to have somebody take this huge load off of your shoulders. And like you said, for $10 a month, that is an amazing deal. I mean, that saves you so much time and money.
If $10 a month is, let's say you have 10 students a week, so that would be, 20 hours a month at half-hour lessons-ish. If you could save 50% of that time in planning, literally, that's recouping full days of your time.
Absolutely. And I've always been a big fan of my time, so I...
Me too. I haven't seen it for a while, but it's there somewhere.
I can relate to that. I really can.
And I'm really excited about another up and coming project on the site. I sort of envision Crystal Clear ESL evolving into a hosting platform. So similar to Teachers Pay Teachers, but rather than selling your resources, an opportunity for other developers to gain that residual subscription income on their step-by-step lessons. So some key points about this are that everything's curated. Everything has to clear by me as being very top quality, error-free for the most part, and step-by-step. And then the developers can host on a whole range of subjects. Right now it's ESL based, but who knows? Maybe we'll integrate other disciplines in the future. So you will find already I offer IELTS Made Simple, which is a hosted course on the site. And again, like you said, Allison, that is enabling teachers who may not be professionals or experienced in teaching IELTS, which is a university entrance exam used worldwide, to put that banner on their website or that, string in their bow and teach it with confidence, because everything they need is supplied for them. That one includes all the skills practices, mock tests, all your detailed teaching notes, homework tasks, links to the rubric to mark their responses. It's really an incredible opportunity to diversify what you're teaching.
So when you're looking at what you offer, and you obviously offer a lot more than just the curriculum, what do you say are the things that are your biggest benefits to teachers when they're trying to decide about which program they want to go with?
I think that the step-by-step nature is the biggest benefit. I think that your two main sort of criteria that you have to uphold to maintain a student base are enjoyment and progress. And by having a step-by-step curriculum that's, dynamic and draws all the 4 skills and different activities, you're engaging your students. As a teacher, you're also what I love to call bringing your sparkle to the lesson. Ultimately, the reason that they're signing on is because they love your style of teacher and your personal relationship. But another super important factor that often the parents are most concerned about is ensuring that progress. And I find that it's all too easy if you're picking bits or you're constructing your own lessons without an overarching curriculum behind you, to forget about progress or to not focus on it enough, because it is so important to parents and students as well to see that regular progress and to have it documented.
Right. So tell me what the platforms are. That's an important piece that we can use with your curriculum.
So I tend to recommend Zoom. When you're talking about using an interactive curriculum, you've got a capacity with the internet, a bandwidth as such. And the more you add, the more your stability is affected, or your students, and they're far more unreliable, as we all know. So I tend to recommend Zoom because it is basic. It's easy to use. It's free. I mean, I've never as a teacher had to upgrade from the free account. I teach little ones though, so my lessons are really quick. And it does offer at the moment the best interactive capability in the industry. So the only downside with Zoom, if your student comes to class on an iPad, tablet, or mobile phone, the interaction is limited. But that doesn't say anything about Zoom, because currently there isn't a platform on the market that does better than Zoom. With that said, I am keeping a close eye on Koala. Have you heard of Teach with Koala?
I love Koala. Yes.
Yeah, they are fantastic. And I actually spoke with Xavier, one of the co-founders, the other day. And I said, I would be recommending this high and low if I could even get my own students to migrate. But I am assured that it's in development. So watch this space.
Yeah, they're very up and coming. And I want teachers to pay attention to them because they're going to be well worth it. One of the things I really was interested in when I first got onto your website was that little tab up there that says China payments. Because that's one that I see all the time on these groups. Like, how do I get my payments? And I saw this and I went, oh!
Okay, it is what it says it is. It is China payments. So yes, it is great for that. But that said, it is a supplement to the Crystal Clear curricula. So it isn't offering standalone payments, because what I wanted to do is draw in users of the curricula. And I woke up one morning and I thought, oh my goodness, all of these teachers are going to be turning down students because they can't sort the payments out. And wait, I've been freelancing for years and I already have China payments sorted out. And so that blossomed into just like endless research about the legality and the insurance. And, there's a lot behind it. But what I found is that I can just repurpose it. So that was like stage one. Yeah, that was stage one, was repurposing it. And the feedback was it was a little too prescriptive. And basically teachers wanted something more customizable. So this is the newest variation where I provide payment links that teachers can provide to their students. And it basically gives them the ability to decide their class price and their bundle duration by just adjusting the math slightly. So the big benefit of this is that twofold, really. One, the curriculum access is built in. So at a minimum, you're getting, I think I calculated it as $105 worth of curriculum at a hugely reduced rate. For your investment, you can see for the first 3 bundles, they come automatically with 3 months subscription to Crystal Clear Phonics, Crystal Clear Kids, Crystal Clear Advanced, and Crystal Clear Business. So it's tons. more than you need probably, but I wanted to cover all the bases and give good value for money. And then the other really important key factor is that you know what you earn. You have a guaranteed payout value, regardless of fluctuations in bank fees, currency conversion fees, whatever. You know exactly what you'll get at the end. So then you can really clearly calculate your own finances, your business finances, and be able to depend on them. So, and I think a lot of teachers that are using it love the fact that it's a hand to hold through the whole process, because many are used to the platforms like VIPKID and everything was done for them. And then they're tossed out 100% on their own, having to research, having to trust companies to handle large sums of money that are just treating them like a number. And you don't get that. You get personal emails, you get troubleshooting every step of the way. You know, I'm an open book. I help teachers find or write their contracts for their students or their terms and conditions. And it's all to help teachers basically succeed. I just created an info video. It's also on that resources tab. It's almost an hour long because I wanted to be really clear and transparent about everything that I'm asked about the China payments portal.
Probably one of the bigger questions I would guess that you would have would be about security.
We use designated registered business accounts with, you know, well-known banks. The money starts with Stripe, which everybody's using and talking about. And then our business account is Wise Bank, who I've used for probably going on 5 years. And I literally recommend them to everyone. They're such an amazing bank. We are insured and everything is triple checked. Teachers can be sure that they're handled individually and everything is safe and above board. So teachers who are new can start up using Crystal Clear ESL with all the major decisions taken care of for them and the help that they need to succeed. And I think it's a viable way forward for a new teacher.
You and I discussed things like Outschool. So it's something that we have access to that we can use on these other platforms, these other third-party platforms?
100%. Yeah. Okay. So every membership at Crystal Clear gives you an automatic individual commercial license. So you can teach at Outschool or Allschool or italki or wherever you like. You have the permissions there in the terms and conditions.
That's big. And I think a lot of these teachers are just realizing that you can't just use any curriculum that's out there or stuff that you're just copying off the internet, you know, so you have to be very wise about that. All right, so let's get to one of the bottom line questions of how much does it cost for us to use your curriculum?
Right. So I mentioned earlier, I try to bundle things in different ways to give teachers choices, because I don't think that you should have to subscribe to the full range, everything offered on the website when you teach only a fraction. So you can see some of the pricing here. The kids curriculum, which is levels 2 through 4, is $7.99. The phonics is $5.99. You can get both at a discount if you bundle them together. I do offer the full access pass, which is everything currently on the website for just $25.99. And then the lowest price at the moment, and this is another sort of hush hush secret, is that advanced curriculum. So that's level 5 and up, which is still in development and therefore has limited introductory pricing. So it's $3.99 now. And what that means, I don't have the capability as a Stripe vendor to change members' prices. I can't even have promos. If you sign on for $3.99 now, that advanced bundle, which will later include, you know, substantially more content, will always be $3.99 for you. Yeah, that's huge, right? Because eventually when I add levels 6 and 7, we're talking about hundreds of lessons at your fingertips for that original membership price. So it's good to get in now, and I will be looking at raising the price at the end of February. So
that's good to know. Yeah, you can say it with a low voice, but I'm going to shout it from the rooftop. Get in on this deal while you can.
I know.
To me, though, as a teacher, especially those of us who are just starting out with something like this, to have something that is a really great product at an inexpensive price. I mean, teachers, we're always looking for the cheapest way to do whatever it is. So I love that. I really, really do love
that. No, I think it's important to make it accessible to everyone, even if you're just starting up. And I also offer an automatic 2-week free trial on every new registration, because I understand that even if I have the most shiny and glowing curriculum, it just might not suit your style, or your student or parent might want something else. So the free trial, I think, is really important, because it gives you a chance to sift through the whole lesson library and even try teaching some of it to just make sure that it matches your style and your students' needs.
And then can people cancel at any time, or what's the cancellation policy for this too?
It's flexible. I say in my terms and conditions to please allow a week for the cancellation. I try to approach the business as a human being rather than a bot or a corporation even. So I do say in the terms and conditions, please allow 7 days for everything to cancel off. But that's sort of like, because if it's a holiday, or if I'm having a very rare day off and have to do it manually. Most times you can just log into your teacher dashboard and cancel off without any further issues. And then it's pretty immediate.
One thing I don't think we've even brought up today is that you're pretty much a company of one.
Yes. Yeah, you're right. I do have an amazing assistant that helps social media and some aspects of lessons, but in terms of curriculum development and running the site and replying to emails, it's only me.
So I just want to ask you, before we do run out of time, what the best kind of contact is for you. I mean, are you on Facebook? Do you do Instagram? Do you have YouTube? Do you want to email you?
All of those. Yeah, I do all of those. Ultimately, I always welcome emails at info@esl-curriculum.com. Great. And that's the best way to contact me directly. But at the same time, it's great to have the support on social media, and also for others to have the benefit of knowledge that transpires from questions being asked publicly. So please do that as well.
Yay! Well, I'm super excited to have those on there. Is there anything else that you want to share, Crystal? Like I said, I know you're a busy woman. You've got to be off in just a few minutes here.
I do. I actually have to go pick up my 3 kids from school in a few minutes. But I guess just gratitude. I just really want to thank everybody for a whirlwind 18 months, and for everyone's patience as things are in development and being fine-tuned, and just the fun. Really, thank you for adding the fun and relationship aspect, because this can be quite a solitary job when it comes to colleagues. So getting to engage and support and interact with other teachers has been just such a joy as well. So thank you. And thanks for having me, Allison.
Well, you are a joy to have. I mean, it's just every time we've been in conversation, whether it's Zoom or emailing each other, I've enjoyed it so much. And I've laughed more with you than I can remember laughing on any time past. So,
likewise.
And I've really enjoyed it so much.
Oh, that's lovely.
Well, you enjoy your time with your kiddos today. And thank you again just for giving us your time. This is so, so valuable. And I'm so excited to share it.
Oh, awesome. Thanks again. Take care. Bye.
Crystal. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you'll take the time to check out Crystal's website. I have left that link as well as her contact information in the description box below. Also below is that subscription button. I'd love for you to hit that, because next time we'll be talking about a variety of those third-party teacher marketplaces, and there are so many of them. We're talking about marketplaces like Outschool, Allschool, and italki. And like I said, there's quite the list, both ESL and non-ESL. So I really hope you'll join us next time. Thanks again for being here. Bye-bye. And I really hope that, it is, it's recording. I thought, oh no.
I've done that before, twice. My assistant thinks that I'm totally bonkers because I make her redo things.